Good afternoon. Oh, let me put this out here so you can see what we're going to be doing today. It is Tuesday, March 18th. Can you believe it? We're almost halfway through March already. This is Jenny. That's an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Let me see if I can find myself on, oops, wrong click. Click there. See if I can find myself on Facebook so I can find comments. And let's see. There we go. There we go. All right. It is, oh, I forgot to turn off my volume too on my laptop. So welcome to Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny. And my name is Jenny, and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the East Contra Costa County area of the San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm excited to bring to you, we're doing springtime flowers or springtime cards today. And I am using one of the online exclusive stamp sets, actually 2 stamp sets from the online exclusives from January. Hey, Tammy, welcome. I'm going to be doing heat embossing and watercoloring, and I'm going to show you how to avoid little slip-ups like that. I'm going to show you some new dies. These are to die for, really. They're awesome. We all cried when they got rid of the deckled rectangle, but we had to know that Stampin' Up would have something even better, and this is, I believe, a lot better. Let me hold this up to you so you can see a little bit better, minus that little boo-boo right there. But we're going to go ahead and get started on this. If I seem a little frazzled, it's because I'm racing around. In a couple of hours, I am getting ready to head out of town to go visit my daughter. I wasn't able to be there when she moved into her apartment, so now I am going to go see her in her apartment. So, and I just realized, see, and this is how frazzled I've been the last couple days. I didn't pre-cut some of my stuff, so we're going to go ahead and cut our base, card base. I used Very Vanilla for our card base, and it is going to be the 8.5 by 5.5. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to score this at 4 1/4 first before I cut it, so that I have 2 card bases. So we're going to go ahead and score it right there. And then we're going to cut this in half at 5.5. So we're going to be 8.5 by 5.5 with a score at 4 1/4 for our card base. I did cut, but you know what? I didn't cut that, so we'll cut that. I'm going to cut it now. I do need half of this for my inside, so let's go ahead and cut this one in half. We'll cut it at 4 1/4. I do need it for my inside panel. All right, I think I've got my head on straight now. So here's our card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and fold it over and burnish it, and then we're going to set it off to the side. All right, then we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and do the inside real quick. We're going to use these great, amazing rectangle dies. It's called Noteworthy. Textured Notes. I want to say Noteworthy all the time, but it's Textured Notes. And it's fun is that each rectangle is textured, but it's a different texture. And they're different stitches and different looks. And I love it. You've got all these. You've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rectangles. This is a perfect one for a long sentiment. And this one is perfect for any sentiment. They're all perfect, actually. I love them. So we're going to use this one on our boho blue. We're going to use boho blue twice in this card, and we're going to use this for our Very Vanilla. We'll put this off to the side. So let's go ahead and die cut our boho blue and pieces. All right, I'm going to do it off camera because this one I'm going to have to use my larger machine for. But I want to get this done. So we'll go ahead and put these on Make sure there's nothing on that. And we'll go ahead and use our Post-it. We'll catch that. If you're watching the replay, I highly encourage you to go after watching the replay for this one, go and check out on the link on my blog to my friend Tammy, who's on right now. She did a beautiful card with yellows and blues and very, very spring-like. So I recommend you go check hers out. Very simple. It's one of those ones that if you need to make a bunch of cards at one time, hers is perfect because it's perfect for mass production. But it's very fun to look at. All right, get those little pieces off. All right, we're going to do another one because we need one for the inside and one for the outside. So let's go ahead and do our other one. And I'm going to turn that around because I'm getting some funny bubbles on it. Tip, I'll show you what my cutting plate on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine looks like. But if it starts looking like that and it leaves dents or you're getting pieces and parts, you can always flip it over so that you can, let me show you. This has been very well loved, as you can tell. And when I did it, I did another card this morning with Spotlight in Nature. So I had these little dots on there and I cut this one on that page and I got some white dots on there. So you can always flip it over and use the other side to cut on so that you can avoid getting some of those extra little pieces or divots out of. All right, so there's our two pieces of boho blue, and I need one very vanilla for the inside. So let's go ahead and do that one. And I'm going to turn that over. I hope everybody's having a great day. I am officially on spring break, and I have 2 weeks off. So I'm going to go visit my daughter for a week. And the fun thing is that she lives just about 10 minutes from my mom and my sister and my niece and my brother-in-law. So I'll be able to visit them. And while I'm visiting them, my nephew is coming down from college for a few days. So I'll get to see my nephew as well. So I'm pretty excited. I get to see almost everybody in the family. So anyway, all right, so here we go. We got this, and then we're going to use our paper. The paper we're going to use on the front is not very vanilla. It looks like it because it's sort of an off-white, but it is going to be our watercolor paper. It's called Fluid 100. Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and this is the best kind of paper to do watercoloring on. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Unfortunately, my stamp is not big enough. I would love to have had it so it's this big so I can get two pictures out of one piece, but it's not. It's our large one from our mixed floral. Let me show you. We're going to be doing the tulips for this one. Fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing family. It's going to be fun. And we get to celebrate a bunch of birthdays while we're out there too, because my sister's birthday, my niece's birthday, my nephew's birthday are all a week apart. And then my mom and my sister have birthdays in April. So we're going to celebrate everybody's birthdays at one time. But I'm going to use this tulip one here. And so we're going to do a little heat embossing. So let me go ahead and on our watercoloring, we're going to set these aside as well and take on this. And this is my my embossing buddy. It's what it does is it removes all the oils from your fingers touching the paper. So once you do it, you really don't want to touch where you're going to be stamping and embossing. So that's why I'm sort of using the sides of my finger. And we're going to use Versamark. And I'm going to tap, because this is such a large stamp, I'm going to tap on the sides, or tap it like this, ink down. And we're going to go ahead and put this right here. And I'm going to just push down. I'm not going to rub, because the other day I was rubbing on it to get it to get a good image. And what happened was it moved it a little bit. So I ended up having a double image of some of the flowers when I heat embossed it, and it looked sort of funny. All right, so we're going to do that. And then this is a tip with my embossing folder powder that I learned from some friends. And my friend Tammy here showed me where to get these fun little spoons. And you get all of this, get these containers from the dollar store and these spoons from the dollar store. And that way you can do large pieces. And we're going to go ahead and put this on. And magically, check that out. Everything shows up, and I'm going to tap it. I'm going to do one more to make sure I got all of the pieces, or all the spots. Tap, and you can see my image. It's upside down, but there we go. And everything goes right back into this. I'm going to blow it a little bit because it looks like there's some. I also keep a paintbrush handy to get rid of all of the other little strays of the embossing powder. I usually have a smaller brush, but I can't find it, so I use that one. Let's go ahead and tap it a little bit more, make sure we get all the excess off. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and heat emboss. But anyway, this I keep all my embossing powders. I have one for black, one for clear, one for white, one for gold, one for metal or silver, and one for another one. So, hi Patty, welcome. You just finished recording a video. Oh, cool. No worries. I was late for Tammy's this morning. Today is a day of, we're all a little off. So, all right, let's go ahead and we're going to heat emboss this. All right. And when you heat emboss, what you're going to do is you're going to wait and you'll know it's done when you see it turn glossy. So hopefully this isn't too loud on your end, but you can see how it's getting glossy here. So let's go ahead up here to the top. All right, there we go. I think that's it. All right, we're gonna set this off to the side. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and do our watercoloring. And I'm going to use green, garden green, granny apple green, melon mambo, and my favorite, I'm sad to say it's going to be a retiring in a month and a half, boho blue. I certainly hope they bring this back in a refresh. I'm definitely going to go in and suggest it. And we're going to use these two for our leaves, our flowers, our tulips, and then our smaller flowers. I'm not sure what kind they are. But anyway, so we're going to do that. And then I have my water marker or water painter. Now, this unfortunately is something that is no longer being sold by Stampin' Up, but you can find them online. But these are great. I put water in it and then I tap. I'll show you what I do. I actually learned that you're not supposed to squeeze these and feed the ink off of the lid because the lids are not made for that. So what I do is I open it and I stamp one of my blocks on there, and you can see I've got ink on the block. And I might put a little more granny apple green. I use more granny apple green than garden green. So we're going to do that. And then if you do it carefully, you can turn it around so that you can get a little bit of the other green. I'm going to get garden green on there. And what I like to do by doing that, I can blend them together with my water painter. So let's go ahead and I'm going to squeeze my water painter until I see some drips of water coming out. There we go. And I'm going to drip, we'll drop that drip from my thing right on my block and smush it around a little bit so I can blend some of the colors. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint. But I'm just sort of going to tap in and let the water fill in where it can. That's a little bit darker than I wanted to. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get some more granny apple green. There. And we'll do this. There is a a technique where you use clear or white embossing powder, but and then you watercolor over it, and it's really pretty because of the way it pops with the colors. But you want to do that with detail or stamps. At least I do. I like to use it on stamps that don't have as much detail or line detail, only because when you're doing it white on white or clear on white, it's hard to see where all the lines are. And when you have this many details, you get it in places you're not supposed to have it. So let's go ahead, and this doesn't take really long. You'd look at it, you would think it would take a long time, but really it takes very little time to paint and add the colors. So we got a leaf back here. I'm going to go more of the granny apple. This one has a lot of, with a little bit of garden green. All right. So we're going to do that. But, and then what I'm going to do is, this dries rather quickly. It's probably because I don't do a real heavy amount of water. If you do, you can always use your heating tool to dry it a little bit quicker if you'd like. However, I don't flood my my paper with it. Some people do, and that's part of the technique and how they do their watercolor. I do this. I like, it's almost like using the blender pen, but it's not as, it moves the ink color around a little bit more. All right. What I do, you can wipe on paper. Let's see, I have some paper here. I was using that for blending, but you can clear off your water painter by just squishing a little water through it and running it through. What I also do is, if I have got a lot of coloring, like I use the same one for my pinks and my blues, and you'd think it was stained, but what I do is I use a little baby wipe, and I just sort of wipe the brush off clear too. All right, so let's go ahead and do our, oh no, I gotta do the dark green. Sorry, I don't wanna, let's add a little more water to that tip. So we can get it puddled up. There we go. And forgot, I want to do very dark, so I'm using the garden green on the tulip stems. So we'll do that. All right. So I hope everybody's having a great day and looking forward to spring. We finally have some spring-like weather going on. It's very nice outside. I mean, it's not hot, but it's definitely nice, which I like. I'm going to add a little dark to these lines just to give it a little depth. There we go. Oh, there's a little dimension. All right, we're going to go ahead and clean that off. See how dark it is, but when you rub it on, it cleans it off. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to apply some of my boho blue to a block. I don't need a lot, so I'm just going to do a small block, a small part of the block. And we'll get some pen ink or water going. There we go. Make sure it's all blue. Nope, see there's a little green in that still. So let's go ahead and see if we can get rid of that green. All right, I don't see any more green, so let's go ahead and squeeze a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna just dab it in these little flowers. I want my little flowers to have the blue. And this blue is the boho blue. It's the same blue we're gonna use on one of the panels on the front of our card and on the inside of our card. And these flowers just tie everything together. I'm also going to show you that if you have white ribbon and a Stampin' blend, you can actually color that ribbon to coordinate with any of the ink colors you have or that you're using. It doesn't actually have to be a white ribbon, but you're going to get the truest color if you use a white ribbon. But you can dye or color any color ribbon. All right. Oop, missed a flower. All right, there we go. I think I got them all. All right, let's go ahead and do our melon mambo. Oh, I'm glad you think this is pretty, Tammy. Thank you. All right, let's move this off to the side. I'm afraid I'm going to get ink on my hands. All right. So now let's do our melon mambo. We're going to use our melon mambo in a little bit to bring it in from on the inside to tie everything together. I'm going to put a lot of water on this because I want it to be fairly light. And as you brush out, it's lighter. I've got a little bit, there we go. And what we'll do is we'll come back in and we can shade it a little bit more with some more ink. But we're going to go really light for right now. All right. I love how you can, just by the amount of water you use and the amount of layers that you use when you're coloring, that you can use the same ink and get different looks. You can truly do like an ombre effect. All right. Let's see. Let's see. More. We're going to do that. I'm not sure how many of you guys like to, if you love to watercolor, I'd love for you to put in the comments that you love to watercolor. This is a watercoloring technique for stamps, and I actually enjoy it. I can color in with watercolors. I could never freehand. But, all right, we're going to darken some of this up on the base by adding just a little bit more ink that doesn't have as much water. We're going to do it here too. All right, there we go. Sort of reminds me of some of those flowers where they are multiple colors. All right, we're going to set this aside too. And we're done with our our water painter. So I'm going to clean that off. And just squeeze some water into it and run it around. If you want, you can run it onto the baby wipe. Now, but one thing you might want to be careful when you're doing this is before you use it again, make sure you don't have any lint or pieces of the baby wipe on your water painter. Watercoloring intimidates me, but I'm inspired. Oh, I'm glad I'm inspiring you, Tammy. I'm glad I'm inspiring you. My grandparents used to paint, but I think they painted with, they did oil painting. They didn't do watercolors. My mother-in-law watercolored, and I have the most beautiful set of irises, of painting of irises that she did back when my kids were really young, and it's in my bathroom because I love the colors and I love flowers, and it's beautiful. So anyway, all right, we're going to go ahead and let this dry a little bit. So what I'm going to do in the meantime while that's drying a little bit is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment on here. And I'm using 2 sentiments actually from the Mixed Labels cling stamp set. And the fun thing is you can get both of these as a part of a suite. It's called the Mixed Media Floral Suite. So I'm not sure why I'm responding to Patty's post. Oh, that's funny. I don't know either, but I read it. I saw it. So, but these come in the online exclusive suite called Mixed Media Floral. And there's some great dies that go with it that will cut these out and cut out these cone flowers and all sorts of fun dies. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use You're Pretty Wonderful, and then below that we're going to say, I'm so glad we're friends. And we're going to use Melon Mambo on the inside. Oh, I'm glad you love this, Patty. Thank you. So let's start with You're Pretty Wonderful. I'm just going to do light tapping. And we're going to make sure I have this straight. Otherwise, I'll stamp it crooked. And we're going to stamp it pretty far up. That way you can write a little sentiment down below. You're Pretty Wonderful. Oops, almost got that in my green palette that had my different inks. And then we're gonna say, I'm so glad we're friends. All right, there you go. So there's our sentiment. We'll put that on. Oh, your pre-order just came? Oh, quick, Patty, go run and get it. You can always watch the replay later. All right, I'm gonna attach this. I'm going to use my glue, and because I keep it on one of those glue stands, but I don't put the lid back on, sometimes it gets a little spitty and it gets a little clogged, but then all you have to do is clean it out. And actually the fun thing is, I don't know, it's sort of what they call ASMR, whatever. I like to sort of pull it out. It's sort of funny. I don't know. Call me weird. I'm weird. But anyway, it sort of reminds me of when we were little, we'd put glue on our hands. And then you'd let it dry and you'd peel it off. That's sort of what that reminds me of. Maybe I like doing it because it reminds me of childhood. So, all right. So here's the inside of our card. And we're going to go ahead and put the inside. So I love how this setup and paneling is going to mirror what we've got on the front. And so it ties the front and the back together, or not the front and the back, the front and the inside together. Sometimes I do it with designer series paper, but this time I'm doing it with layering of colors. All right. So now this is dry. We're going to go ahead and take the medium size die that I used for this panel. We're going to use it on this one. So let's go ahead and attach that. And I'm going to run it through my machine real quick. Oh, thank you. You love the layers. I don't usually do a lot of layers, but I really like it with this note. I can't remember. I want to say noteworthy. Take note die set. It makes layering so much fun. All right, let's go ahead and get this cut out. So you could always use a panel or part of the watercolor panel for something else if you'd like. All right, and there is my floral. And what we're going to do before we do anything with that, we're going to measure out some ribbon, and I'm going to show you a trick. If you don't have any, like I wanted to add boho blue ribbon, but the only boho I had was textured note dies. That's what it is. I had the jute, and I didn't like the way that laid on the card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it a little bit, I'm going to measure it out and know that I'm just going to flip it over on the back and tuck it in back there behind. I'm not going all the way around because I don't do real bows. I do faux bows. And then I'm going to cut a little bit more actually to tie the knot. So let's go ahead and color this. So where's my scratch paper? We'll go ahead and use this scratch paper. And I'm going to just take my boho blue light Stampin' blend, and I'm going to use the paint brush side, the brush tip, and I'm just going to go over this, and it turns, it dyes it. And what I love about this, because of the frayed tip, it has a little white peeking out. This would be really pretty if they had this in a Very Vanilla, since I'm using Very Vanilla for my card. But you don't have to do it on both sides, because it goes right through. So there's our thing. I like this. It almost looks like a denim color. So, all right, let's do the second piece. And then we're going to let those dry. Well, that one will dry while I'm coloring this one. And then this one will dry while I'm attaching that one. All right. So we're going to let that dry now. And gotta love Stampin' Blends. I'm so glad my friends Patty and Tammy introduced these to me because I love them. I was always nervous. Those intimidated me for a while. All right, so now we're going to use a mini glue dots, and we're going to attach it to, I like to put it on there. Let's see. All right. Oh, that one didn't matter. Let's go ahead and cut that off. Something went funny with that one. So let's put it off to the side. Thank goodness there's more on the roll. Yep, there it is. All right, we'll put this on there. And we're going to do one on the other side. Oh, sometimes they get a little stubborn and don't come off right away. All right, there we go. And then what I'm going to do, it's being stubborn again. The glue dot is being stubborn. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay it where I want. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to just tuck this on the side. And I've got the glue dot already on the ribbon. And there is that ribbon. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to tuck it underneath. And I'm going to tie a faux knot. Well, I'm going to tie a knot. It's not really a faux knot, but we're going to tie that. And there we go. And I think I'll cut this at an angle. There we go. Fingers are a little sticky. All right. So there we have that. Now, here's what we can do. We can do what I did on my original card, which is the sunny day dots in iridescent dots and do the smaller melon mambo to tie into the flowers, or we can go with brushed butterflies. What do you guys think? I'm curious to know what you guys would like to do. In the meantime, while you guys are letting me know what you want to do, I'm going to cut some strips of foam adhesive sheet, and I'm going to put it on the back so that I can pop this up off of the, yeah, isn't it beautiful? All right, we're going to go ahead and do one here. I love my foam adhesive sheets. Thank you, Patty. One here, and then we're going to put one here. And then one. Patty says dots. One vote for dots. Maybe I'll use dots because I like the dots. These dots come from a really fun card that are from a fun suite, and it's an ocean themed suite with lobsters and crabs and I can't remember what else is on it, but they're really cute. And they're all these bright colors: pumpkin pie, summer splash, and melon mambo. All right, we're going to center this here. And where's my take a pick tool? I'm going to do take a pick tool. We're going to go dots. We're going to do 3 dots here. We'll do one. You know what? I think I'm going to change the location. I'm going to do, let's go here. Here. I don't think I'm going to change the location too much. Actually, I think I am. No, I'm going to drop it back down this way. I'm going to drop it down here. So I sort of changed it, the location of the dots. First, I thought about putting a dot over here. All right. Dots, since you use butterflies. Oh, that's good. You used butterflies on your card today, and everybody can see the beautiful butterflies you used. And then I can use the dots. Sounds like a plan. All right. I'm just go ahead and use a little bit of multi-purpose glue, Tombow, and attach this, center it on the front. And I'm a texture person. I don't like my cards being really flat on the front, even with the paper. And so I love embossing folders, but let me tell you, these Take a Note, is it Take a Note? I'm forgetting it again. Textured notes. I should remember textured. It's got the texture around it. The textured note dies. I love them because they add that texture to the card. So there is my springtime fun card. I hope you guys enjoyed it, using both heat embossing and watercoloring. And our favorite, or mine and Tammy's favorite, retiring in color, the boho blue. So thank you so much for joining me. Leave me a note. If you like what you see, you can hit subscribe on my YouTube channel and you'll get notified every time I add a new video. I usually add one video a week, and it's usually on Wednesdays after Teach It Tuesday. So thank you so much. Oh, let me tell you, you can find more information and more details about this at my blog, www.Stampin with Jenn. Stampin and Jenn both have 2 N's. And then after you get a chance to watch this or get the information you want from there, you will also find a link to Tammy's card and video that she did this morning, and she used the brush butterflies on it. So the brass butterflies. Try saying that one 10 times fast. Might get myself in trouble. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, by the way, I will not be here next Tuesday. I will be in Texas visiting my daughter, but Tammy will be having her video. So join her at 11 a.m. Set your watch, set your timer, set your alarm on your phone. She's going to have a great card. We're doing a sketch. Now, I may not be live on Tuesday, but you can definitely find a blog post from me. I will have a card using the same sketch that Tammy uses during her live on Tuesday. I will have a card with all of the information as well as step-by-step directions on making the card. So I hope you check that out next week. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. It's been fun, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks. Bye-bye.